Welcome to the Science of Fiction. My name's David.
My name is Dylan.
Welcome to our podcast. It's called The Science of Fiction, in case you didn't hear me 5 seconds ago. On this podcast, we talk about the craziest, weirdest things from all your favorite fictional universes, and we talk about how weird they are, and we have a good time. Today we're talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so that's everything from the first Iron Man movie and up, as long as it's a Marvel movie. So that doesn't include things that are technically Marvel created, like X-Men or...
Specifically the Marvel phases.
Yes.
Which includes Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3, I think, of what we're up to right now.
We're also going to talk about Phases 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Yes.
So be ready for that, because we do have the scripts for all those movies.
Then we're going to talk to the pre-phases, so pre-Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4.
We're also talking about the Star Wars Marvel crossover that's coming in 2032.
And the Avatar crossover.
That's coming in 2049. Coincidentally, not a Blade Runner crossover.
Right.
Despite the title of the upcoming film. But the Blade Runner crossover will be in 2067.
Then we're going to discuss the Harry Potter crossover, which we're breaking live. Disney's buying Harry Potter.
Ironically, that one actually already happened in 2001, but nobody watched it.
Yeah.
But they're going to be rebooting the crossover. Make sure to like us on YouTube for all the really funny jokes we just said. And give us 5 stars on iTunes or whatever, however that system fucking works. We're on iTunes if you're listening on YouTube. We're a comedy podcast. You can tell by how much funny things we've said. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Let's go ahead and get it started. Like I said, we're here to talk about the crazy things that don't really add up, the things that the universes hint at or suggest, but don't really take the time to explain. We're not here to criticize the movies for that. We're just here to have fun and kind of poke fun at all the bizarre things.
It's the same thing movies always run into. You can only tell or say so much, and then sometimes things just get cut out on the cutting room floor. So we're here to make fun of them for doing that.
Exactly. Let's start with Thor, my favorite Hemsworth. Actually, I think I like Liam more.
Really?
I don't know.
What else has Liam been in?
Expendables 2.
Besides Miley.
I actually don't know if Liam... Chris is good in Star Trek for the 5 minutes he was in it.
I like Chris. Chris is good. I think they're both good. A couple good boys.
So let's talk about not Thor himself, but Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead and say the name.
Muldur.
No?
Was that not?
Take 2?
Mjolnir.
Good. That's close. That's pretty close.
Mabeldonger.
Mabeldonger is way better. Yeah. Now it's canon. It's Mabeldonger.
Mabeldonger. So, like I said a minute ago, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if something is explained in a comic, that's great, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Well, we will reference the television shows because they are considered in the same.
The Marvel Netflix series, yes.
Yes.
So not like an animated show, but like anything that is technically canon to the current MCU.
Yeah. So like S.H.I.E.L.D., which none of us have seen, so we will definitely not reference it.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen almost nothing from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I mean, you've seen the TV shows, and that's a pretty good chunk.
I've seen the TV shows, and I saw the first Iron Man.
Yeah, that's a fairly decent chunk.
I'm living under a fucking Marvel rock.
I have seen all the Thors. Have
you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Not yet. Is it even out yet?
No.
I will watch Thor Ragnarok. I actually kind of enjoy the Thor movies. They're not great, but they're just, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're fun.
So for Thor's hammer, obviously, he can have it travel to him. He lifts up his hand and the hammer comes.
Mm-hmm. And so does he.
Yep, and so do I. So the hammer obviously can come from very, very far away. Planets, galaxies, we talked about maybe even traveling through different dimensions. So my question isn't necessarily how far can the hammer travel. It's how the travel will affect things in between Thor and the hammer.
Because like we've seen in the movies themselves, when he calls the hammer, it just goes through whatever's there.
Yeah, if Thor is in a building and he calls the hammer, it's going to break through the fucking walls.
Yeah.
Windows, walls, whatever. He can even use that potentially as a weapon to like smash through enemies on its way.
Yeah.
But my question is, let's say it's on, I don't know, Jupiter for whatever fucking reason. And let's say that in between Earth, where Thor is, and Jupiter, where the hammer is, let's say Mars just happens to be in that path.
Here's the... Okay. This is an interesting thing. Is it strong enough to go through the planets? Because we've seen it go through walls, but that's a concrete wall.
Yeah, but I mean, it smashes like a lot of shit, right? I mean, I guess it can't smash like Captain America's shield.
It didn't smash his shield.
Right.
It smashes. I mean, it hits enemies because he hits enemies with it too, and like the enemies
Yeah.
don't like implode.
That's true. Like, not every bone in their body just instantly fucking shatters.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm saying, let's pretend Mars is in the path of that. Is the hammer? It doesn't seem to have intelligence. It's a fucking piece of metal.
Yeah.
So if he calls it, is he mentally aiming it so it will go around Mars? Will it enter Mars's orbit as it's traveling? Could it be stuck in the orbit?
Well, see,
is it powerful enough to keep going?
I was thinking about not going through the prance is even funnier because I like him like trying to call it and just like fucking stuck it like you were just like backing over before it just keeps hitting it and I can't go through.
I mean, or the alternative is if it is strong enough, will it smash through the fucking core of the planet?
Yeah.
Have planets imploded because Thor called his
We just
hammer?
don't know it. Yeah. I mean, because I imagine like maybe it's not strong enough, but if he's calling it from like several dimensions, that probably has some like velocity built up on that thing.
Yeah. Like, could it get so much velocity that when Thor catches it, his hand just fucking
That's
breaks?
true. That's true. Like, yeah.
Or does it like know to put on the brakes in time?
Right.
And I mean, if it is strong enough, let's say not even like an enemy, but let's say like realistically, there's just some like soft, squishy man just in between him and the hammer. And there's some guy minding his own business. Is the hammer like, oh, don't worry, I'll go around that guy, or is that guy about to get a brick through his fucking head?
When he does it in the first movie, it comes from the sky.
Uh-huh.
So maybe it's just like I know to go up and then I know to go down. But there's definitely other instances where it just kind of goes straight through.
Well, and also in space, there isn't really an up or a down.
Yeah.
So let's say some astronauts are chilling on a space station.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of situations. Maybe the movie Gravity is also in this canon.
Right.
And the beginning of Gravity is because Thor called his hammer.
Totally, yeah.
I guess the other thing about Thor, we want to try to get through most of the Avenger lineup. So we're only going to talk about a couple subjects for each one. The only other thing I have for Thor is that he's an old fuck compared to us humans.
Yeah.
To be fair, he's not a human, he's a god, so that makes sense for him. But he's over 1,000, according to the
He's
wiki.
old for us in like human years.
Yeah, but we want to come up with a new term here. You've heard of human years. I hope so, because you're a human, if you're listening to
Did you
this.
say human ears?
Human years.
Human ears?
You've heard of
human ears?
You've heard of human ears, but have you heard of god ears? They hear even better than you. You've heard of human years. You've heard of dog years. Maybe you've even heard of leap years. But we want to invent god years.
God years.
So Thor, like I said, over 1,000 canonically, according to a wiki I read. He bangs or hooks up, whatever. Does a little kiss to Natalie Portman, who's like probably around 30 in the Thor movie. But he's 1,000 to 30, so this is why we want to invent God years.
Because it's not necessarily creepy.
But see, that's why God years is important, because if you just say 1,000 to 30, that's creepy. Sure. But if you're like, well, but it's God years. He's 1,000 in God years.
Right.
Oh, so that means he's like 30 human years.
Right.
So like, if you're like 500 in God years, you're like 15. So if he would have been 500 and he would have banged Natalie Portman, that would have been fucked up. Because he's 15.
It's kind of like in like the same thing you gotta look at like with like fantasy stuff. Like certain people reach maturity at certain ages depending on how long they live. So maybe Thor was like a wee little boy when he was like 200 years old.
Yeah.
We don't know. So like it's less creepy when you think of like, oh well, they reached maturity about the same time. Like they're at the same age of maturity based off of their relative race.
Exactly.
So it's not so bad then.
Yeah, so that's the logic for that. It's not the same thing as vampire years, because I think that is still creepy.
Okay.
Like, we don't want to get into a different subject here, but Twilight, for example, Edward's like way older than Bella.
See, but here's the thing.
I think that one's fucked up.
Sometimes people accidentally get turned into a vampire. You're just not supposed to bum down anymore because you're a vampire. That's a little harsh.
Yeah, I guess we'll get into that one when we talk about whatever other thing we talk about, if we make it to that many episodes. So next up, we got Iron Man. Actually, I've got two things for Iron Man here. The big one, and I saw other people bring this up online. Iron Man is a billionaire. He's very smart. He's very creative. He has a very advanced suit that he has built for himself. Not just one, but he's built a lot. He's upgraded constantly. He's even built, like the suit for War Machine. He's done all kinds of stuff to upgrade himself. But he's got some friends. Some of those friends are fucking gods.
Yeah.
Some of them are big green monsters. But some of them are fucking regular people that maybe could use a few enhancements. Now, to be fair, like Black Widow, Hawkeye, like they're already pretty badass. But imagine how much more badass they would be with like extra robot vision or a hand that allows them to do something like a little bit extra, like pull a trigger faster or something like that. Like, just little enhancements. Maybe they don't need full suits. But I think it's interesting that he's kind of hogging all that for himself.
Yeah.
Or only sharing it with 15-year-old boys.
Boys, right, exactly, yeah. Because even in the comics, I'm pretty sure it's only, as far as I know, that's the character he built a suit for, too, is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So he has this real weird boner for Spider-Man, which is kind of creepy when you think about it.
Because, like, we don't want to get into Justice League too much, but, like, pretty much everybody else in the Justice League doesn't really need Batman's gadgets.
Well, maybe it's a thing where they just don't trust Tony Stark, so they don't want one.
Maybe.
Because if he controls those, it could easily be a way where, like, he can, like...
Yeah, I mean, I guess we saw how that went in Ultron.
Yeah.
So, sure.
They're
I
probably
guess
just
that
like,
makes
I don't want
sense.
to trust this dude.
But yeah, I don't know. That's just interesting, I think, that he doesn't really help anybody out. The other big thing with Iron Man, it's canonically established in Iron Man 2 that he can piss in that suit. Which makes sense, I guess, if you're saving the world. Like, I can imagine, having to get in and out of that suit every time you want to take a leak.
Mm-hmm.
But he also mentions that not only does he piss in the suit, but it has a good filtration system, good enough to where he could drink the piss. Which I think is a joke Tony Stark's making. He's a jokester.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't help but think he's probably drank his piss.
Yeah, definitely drank his piss.
He's kind of a weird... Before he was, like, popular in Iron Man, he's kind of like an asshole, reclusive dude.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he's drank his piss.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Also, if he built a suit where he could piss in it, I would be willing to believe he built a suit he could shit in.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's just like spacesuits. You gotta do both.
Exactly. Hopefully, he doesn't eat the shit, too. I don't think he'd go that far.
No.
I mean, you mentioned it's probably like an airplane where he's flying
Yes.
over and it just pops right out the back.
Yeah, there it goes.
Which makes sense. Do you think he ever, like, makes any other... Like, he gives somebody else a superpower because his shit lands on somebody?
Well, he doesn't really have a superpower.
But his suit, maybe, there's something like... Some kind of, like, electromagnetic stuff
Well, I guess
that
he
gets in
didn't
his
invent
shit.
that element or whatever, so maybe that element has, like, superpowers.
Yeah.
So I don't know, yeah. I hope there's a mutant out there or some superhero somewhere out there.
How'd you get your power? Oh, I climbed a nuclear reactor. What about you? Iron Man shit on me. It's funny because we wanted to do this podcast because Spider-Man Homecoming's coming out. But I don't really have anything to say about Spider-Man.
Because, like, it's a new Spider-Man. Like, this is the first one
I mean, we could talk all day about the Sam Raimi Spider-Man or the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. But yeah, those aren't canonic to what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
So the only thing I really have is actually kind of more of an Iron Man thing. But it's just the fact that Iron Man recruited Spider-Man when he was fucking 15.
Yeah.
He recruited him into a battle where he very could have easily been murdered.
Yeah.
He's a 15-year-old inexperienced kid fighting some of the deadliest, powerful beings in existence.
And, like, I mean, his main recruit almost seemed to be like, hey, I need you to grab Captain America's shield. And that, like, happens in 5 seconds and immediately he's like, yeah, okay, I got that shield back real quick. Because you're a 15-year-old boy. And I'm a grown-ass man.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think...
I mean, like we said, like, sure, there are other superheroes, so they're probably not going to kill him. But one, you don't know how old he is.
Yeah.
And two, I mean, one of the characters got crippled. That could have easily been Peter Parker.
Yeah, and I mean,
even you have Ant-Man getting bigger, you have Hawkeye shooting arrows and stuff. I mean, everybody's doing all these crazy explosions.
Yeah, that's what I mean is, like, it's not even that I don't necessarily think that another superhero would have been like, I'm going to murder that kid.
Yeah.
But, like, there's so much shit flying around. It's a war zone, and this kid is inexperienced. He doesn't know how to defend himself as well as the others.
Yeah.
He could have easily been hit by something, just, bad luck or whatever,
right.
or inexperience. He jumped in the way of something he shouldn't have. Like, there's so many possibilities of him dying in this situation. I mean, he does get the shit beat out of him. When he goes to see Aunt May later, she's like, what happened to you? Oh, I got in a fight with some big kids.
Yeah.
Like, you could have got fucking murdered, dude.
Yeah, easily. Because, like, he has that spider power to give him, like, extra resistance?
I think it does give him, like, a little bit of, like...
put some sort of something in him for that
Yeah.
suit. But still, like,
sure.
He built that suit for War Machine, and War Machine still got fucking crippled.
Yeah, I mean, what if Giant Man just, like, took a bad step and fucking crushed his body?
Exactly.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of ways he could have got fucking killed, but whatever. Captain America is up next. This is a popular theory online that apparently, as you pointed out, Chris Evans himself has even addressed.
Yeah.
And that's, is Captain
In fact,
America a
He
virgin?
even started it based off reading an article.
He might have.
I think he started it.
But has Captain America boned down? And it seems like maybe no.
Yeah, the answer is no. Which kind of makes sense when you think about it, because he's meant to be this kind of, like, scrawny, like, not good with women, kind of whatever kind of guy in the beginning.
Yeah.
Who gets these super buffed, ripped abs. But as soon as he gets these ripped abs, he's like, going on tours and all these things and being real busy doing other things.
And then he finally, maybe he's finally going to get away from that. He gets frozen in ice for 7 years.
Yeah.
Nothing, it makes it harder to get a boner than being frozen in ice.
Which we'll talk about even a little bit later, too. Real common theme in this one. So, yeah, I guess, he does have a romance in the new one, but I don't remember if it, got intimate ever. I don't think so. I don't think it did. I don't remember.
If you, right now, met some girl that was perfect match for you, you really had a big crush on her, but, oops, you got frozen in ice.
Yeah.
And it's 80 years later.
Right.
But hey, here's her granddaughter.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew you were going, yeah. Well, it's the same. It's essentially the same thing.
Okay.
Because I think,
sure.
if anything,
I guess.
if anything, it shows even more your love and commitment to that girl. Because you're like, hey, it's like, hey, I loved you so much. You're like, I was so into you. No matter what generation I am, I'm going to be banging that generational version of you.
It's funny, I'm going to bring this back to Twilight again. Because that's kind of what happens at the end of Twilight.
Yeah, it really
Spoilers for Twilight.
Yeah.
But Jacob is like, I'm in love with Bella. Oh, can't have her? No big deal. She got a baby.
She got a baby. Thanks, Bella. Thanks for the hookup.
Except it's a little more creepy when you don't have the frozen in ice excuse.
That's the ultimate wingman when your crush has a baby just so you can fuck it.
The good news about this episode is now we never have to talk about Twilight.
Yeah,
we're getting it all out now.
Yeah.
This is a twofer. Anyways, another thing about Captain America, because of his abilities, he can't get drunk. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to sound like some basic ass dude, but if you're not having sex ever in your life and you're not drinking, what are you doing for fun? Not that you can't have fun other ways, and not that I'm saying you should be drinking and fucking all the time, but is he just playing Yahtzee all the time, or what is he doing?
Well, I never know too. it shows him. I can't remember what character it says makes fun of him. He just got unfrozen. He's been frozen for 400 years, and the first fucking thing he does is he's fucking boxing in the gym, and there's what are you doing? Go do anything, literally anything.
Yeah.
But I guess I kind of get it. You're 400 years old. You're in this world that you just all of a sudden woke up to. Everybody you know is dead.
Yeah.
And it's what am I going to go do? Watch a movie? What's a movie?
That's true. Apparently, boxing is the only thing that they had in the 40s that still exists.
It's like Austin Powers, but way more extreme.
Yeah.
Where they're just what am I going to do? I don't know what any of these things are.
Everyone's like, hey, do you want to have sex? He's like, we didn't have sex in the 40s. Is that something you guys made up?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we invented it in the 60s.
It was dope.
Turns out hippies invented sex.
And our population got really big.
You know how adults always used to tell the stories about storks? That's because that's how it used to happen.
Then we killed all the storks and started paying. We went out of business. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Speaking of fucking, I think we're past most of the non-fucking stories. So, unfortunately, this is just the rabbit hole we're in now.
Yeah, we're kind of just deep.
We said when we started this podcast that, we would sometimes talk about sexy stuff. To be fair, last week I don't think we brought up sex really at all. Mm-mm. So, we're making it up for it this week by talking mostly about sex.
It's kind of hard when just, that's kind of how does that work?
That's the problem is, the idea of this podcast is we want to explore the stuff that's not explored. The stuff that's hinted at, but not explored. And sex is always a big thing.
I think the MCU is such a good one to address because, one, people have some powers that can make things interesting. And two, it's all a bunch of really good-looking people with powers.
That's true.
That are all hanging out in close proximity with each other.
Yeah.
So something's about... it's likely an insinuated thing happening.
Yep. So on that subject, let's talk about the Vision.
Yeah. I don't know much about the Vision.
I don't
know much about
I don't know anything about the Vision. I know that he's kind of a robot. Does he have human part or cybernetic parts? Can he fuck?
Yeah, that's the big question. Because I know he has an Infinity Stone. Mm-hmm. I don't know which Infinity Stone.
Well, earlier when we were discussing it, I believe you called it the Fuck Stone.
Yeah, I think he has the Fuck Stone. I'm just assuming because
somebody's got to have it.
Yeah, someone's got to have it because now he came from a robot to apparently a fleshy creature. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because he has. I'm assuming he totally banged Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
and he got kids.
And again, we're talking about the movies, but I did see in the comics they do have kids together.
Yes.
So they've already kind of I think been flirting a bit in the movies. So I just want to know.
Well, they make him look very human-like in the movies too.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess he has semen.
Yeah.
Robot
semen?
I
I guess so.
I don't know. I mean, if he really has the fuck stone.
What if he? Well, if he has a fuck stone, he absolutely has semen.
Yeah.
But if not, maybe he has like little nanobots that like go in there and replicate her organisms.
Ooh, that's hot. I just found a new fetish.
You're welcome.
All right, well, that was our topic on the Vision. Now let's move on to Ant-Man.
How does he fuck?
No, first we can get to how does he fuck in a minute. First I want to get into how does the ant thing work? So, I'm not the shrinking, but like he has control of ants, but
so
can he control any ant?
Like we talked about
just
earlier.
certain ants?
It seems like the theme in this sort of weird thingy is if you wear a suit, you control a specific type of insect.
Yes.
Because like none of us saw Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So maybe it's explained.
To be fair, I don't think most people did.
No, but we did read the plot synopsis, and never in there does it explain why he just controls ants, or why the other guy controls the other ants.
Yeah.
And what I'm assuming Wasp controls Wasp. Why is this a thing? What is this?
Yeah, so just, do you get a suit, and it's like, oh, cool, I got ant suit. I mean, ants are useful, I guess that's cool. Oh, fuck, dude. I got fucking scorpion suit. What am I going to do with this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I got worms. There's got a bunch of worms around me now.
Do you think Ant-Man is jealous of Spider-Man? Because at first he probably meets Spider-Man, he's like,
yeah.
Oh, so you're the spider guy. I bet you're friends with all spiders. And Spider-Man's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Man? No? He's like, you want to hang out with all of our insects later? We dope.
So another thing about Ant-Man, he's not always Ant-Man. Sometimes he's Giant Man.
Yeah, when he's Giant Man, all the giants are friends.
Yes, all the giants are friends with him. So Hulk is, I guess, kind of giant.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't think he has any friends.
Not very many.
But the question we were talking about is, is it one extreme or the other? Can he only be Ant-Man or Giant Man? Because in the Ant-Man movie, apparently he goes to quantum level, so that's below an ant. That's, fucking quantum man.
But that's still kind of like on that spectrum. It's still like really, really small.
Really, really small or really, really big. So what we were talking about is like, maybe he's like, oh, I'm only 5'8". I want to be 6'2".
Yeah.
Can he just put on that suit and be like, a little bit bigger?
Yeah, exactly.
Or my favorite is like, what if he's like, you know what? I want to be child size.
Yeah.
I want to be Kid Man.
I'm gonna be Kid Man.
I'm gonna put on this suit and go trick or treating.
I mean,
I'm gonna get all the fucking candy.
Everybody would have went to see Ant-Man if someone's like, "Hey, yo, real talk." There's a scene where Paul Rudd shrinks down to like 3 feet tall and just running around the room. Everybody would have went to see that movie because you're picturing it right now, and it's the funniest thing you can ever imagine.
They go to his jail cell. He gets arrested. And they go to his jail cell, and they're like, "Oh shit, who arrested this kid?"
He's just naked. It's like, I'm a little kid. What am I doing here? That'd be a way better movie. He's just like a really shitty, bratty person always turning into a kid. Trying to get away with stuff all the time.
Oh, man.
Could he rob a bank?
The what?
He could probably rob a bank pretty easily.
Oh, for sure. I mean, well, I think the movie starts out with like him like doing heists, but they're all heists for like the greater good.
Oh.
But if he wanted to, yeah, he could fucking do some crazy shit.
Hell yeah.
He could do anything.
And then he gets caught. Oh, sorry, ruined that joke. No, he gets caught and just turns into a kid. Like, I'm just a kid.
And life is a nightmare. Something I found out last year. Let's talk about porn for a minute. One of my favorite things is YouPorn and Pornhub always will publish their statistics of popular porn.
Yeah.
Something I found after they're published last year was one of the highest results was giantess porn, which until that survey I legitimately had not heard of. But apparently it is a massively big thing. So in case you're not aware, you probably are, because apparently it's fucking huge. It is porn where there's a giant involved. Although it's not necessarily usually like a giant, like a fairy beast, like a fantasy beast. It's usually like a person has been shrunk.
Yeah.
So like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but that's your fetish.
Yeah.
You're the shrunken kid. Mm-hmm. Ant-Man would fucking dominate the market in this porn. Because he can be on either end of the spectrum. He can be the victim of the giantess, or he can be the giant.
It wouldn't have to be like a shitty CGI or shitty like figures. It would be like a real thing.
It could be like, I mean, he could start his own fucking thing. He could be like, hey, $1,000 and you get fucked by the giant man.
Yeah.
And you'll probably die from that.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Hey, there's some weird fucking rich people out there.
Yeah, that's true.
This is another example of like, it's a good thing that most people with superpowers are good, because they could get into some crazy shit if they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, let's talk about the Hulk.
Yep.
Yep. Before we get into Sex Hulk, I want to talk about something interesting about the Hulk that I learned in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's that his pants are apparently a specially designed material that stretch and shrink as he transforms.
Them inventing special material in the Marvel Universe stuff is nothing new. But to me, this is the biggest bullshit excuse one ever.
Yes.
That's not him naked. Like we were talking about earlier, I totally buy expansion. I get that. Mm-hmm. I believe that would happen now. I don't believe he's going to have anything that would shrink back, though. That fucking seems insane.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. What would that even be? Would it be like some fucking, like, shoe stuff? Like, you, like, pull a string also just, like... I don't know. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just always really big, and he always has to put a belt on, and he's busting the belt, but he has to keep buying new belts.
Oh, sure. Or maybe he just unbuckles the belt really quick.
Yeah, that could be it, too. That's why he gets so angry, because his belts are so hard to get.
In terms of the angriness, it's not necessarily... Like, anger is a big part of it, but it's more about heart rate.
Yes.
He transforms into Hulk based kind of on how fast his heart is beating.
Because even though they replaced Edward Norton, they still consider that Hulk movie canonical.
Yes.
And that movie establishes that it's just his heart rate, not his anger.
And obviously anger is one of the major factors in that because that's one of the quickest ways to get a fast heart rate.
But also, in that same movie, it shows he can't really get a boner because it's going to get him hulked out.
Yeah.
Which means, canonically, Bruce Banner can't have sex.
Yes.
He can't. The Hulk can all he wants.
Or at least not sex where he would... not like traditional male-female intercourse where he would be inserting a penis. I mean, I guess there's other things he could do.
Like...
He could, finger blast a girl.
That's getting him excited, too, though.
Maybe he doesn't care. A boner. maybe he doesn't give a shit. He's like, I'm glad she's into this, but I don't care. I'm watching Scrubs. Do you think
there's, anti-Viagra? That just, he'd take a bunch of downers just to mellow him out so he could, do...
I mean, he just needs to, constantly have whiskey dick.
Right. Oh, that's true, too.
Yeah, as long as he's fucking... Although he doesn't want to get... He's got to be the right kind of drunk. Because if you get drunk, sometimes you get, fired up.
Right, exactly.
So he's got to be, a mellow drunk.
Yeah.
Maybe he just smokes a ton of weed.
Right. Oh, that could be...
Yeah.
Yeah, just anything that would, not give him a boner.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never done weed. Does weed give you boners, though?
I don't know.
I mean, hippies always were banging 24/7. They're always
that's a good point. Because I was going to say, surely it mellows you out to the point where you don't get hard. But you're right. Hippies were all about boning down. So maybe it does get you all horned up. I don't know.
I like how we sound like two people who A, definitely don't know how weed works, and 2, probably don't know how sex works. Come to this for fictional bullshit, but definitely don't come here for advice on sex.
Yeah, this is not an advice podcast. There's plenty of those out on the internet. Unless you're the Hulk and you're listening, then we're trying to help you out.
We're trying to help you.
We don't understand your predicament, but we're working on it. So if you're the Hulk, email us. But so let's say he is going to be involved in sex, and he is going to get that heart fluttering.
Right.
He's going to transform into the Hulk.
Yes.
And this could be a serious problem to whoever he's having sex with.
Could be. Maybe it's not a problem.
That's true. I mean, even dick size aside, because that's the obvious thing, is if his dick gets too big all of a sudden, that's an issue.
That's true. He has the strength, though.
Yes. Strength, and also, depending on, where we are in the Hulk canon, his level of control is very different.
Yeah.
Very true. He obviously needs to be very in control to not bust murder the fucking murder a person or bust the room apart or whatever.
Here's I'll throw this at you because we've had this canonically shown to us that we have 2 other strong characters we really know about: Jessica Jones and
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. So could he bone Jessica and not kill her?
Probably, because Luke Cage can, and that was their whole deal.
Yeah,
exactly. They were sexually compatible.
Then I know he has sort of a similar thing with She-Hulk, where he can bang She-Hulk because they're both Hulks.
Yeah.
But is Jessica strong? Was she stronger than Hulk stronger? adequately strong enough strong?
If you want to know the answer, actually, I'm going to be writing a fan fiction next month.
Okay, yeah.
So.
Look for that hashtag on Tumblr.
Yeah. What would their slash name be? Or not slash because they're not gay. What would their ship name be?
Ship name.
Joke. Ooh, I like that. Joke, my favorite Smash Brothers character.
Her joke.
Joke's pretty good. Oh, and you could call the fiction a knock-knock joke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, what else about Hulk? If Hulk is having sex as Hulk, let's just assume that physiologically it works.
When Hulk's having sex.
When's Hulk having? Let's say that it's all good. He's boning down. The girl's all into it. It's all okay. But oopsies, they don't make condoms for Hulk, so he doesn't pull out in time. You know, we're gonna get
Even
real.
if he did, I feel like it would still go right.
Guys, we're gonna get a little naughty here, a little naughtier. Let's say Hulk just blasts off inside this chick.
Yeah.
Can she get pregnant? And if she does, is it a normal pregnancy? Is it normal human semen? Is it some kind of weird Hulk green semen?
I think
is it radioactive?
To do a callback, this kind of goes back to our Animangus discussion. Like, does your form define your semen?
Yes.
Because again, he's genetically mutated now.
Yes.
Which would insinuate his genes are also mutated. So, but maybe...
I mean, honestly, even if somehow Bruce Banner, without transforming, could have sex, he is still gamma radiated.
So I think this goes into two spectrums here. One, that baby probably will be a Hulk baby because it will have the gamma into it. But I would almost argue that the other person he just banged is also genetically modified.
I was going to argue, too, that baby is radioactive, but won't be a Hulk baby, will be a dead baby.
Well, maybe it's a strong embryo, and it survives the radiation process.
It's possible.
If Bruce Banner can do it, a baby can do it.
All right. Anything else about the Hulk before we move on?
I mean, really, the Hulk's just an entire joke. Like, there's nothing really not... I mean, I like the Hulk as a character, but let's be honest, there's nothing that's not a joke about the Hulk.
Yeah, that's true.
He's like a walking conundrum.
So, that's all. I was also going to have us talk about how, like, cities and shit get destroyed, but who cares?
There's no sex there.
Yeah, there's no sex there. If we can't talk about sex, what are we even doing on this podcast?
What's even the point?
So let us know what you guys thought about that.
What's your favorite superhero / fiction?
Yeah, and also, what MCU character did we neglect to talk enough about how they fuck? Because I'm sure there's one out there that everyone's like, guys, you didn't even talk about how fast Quicksilver would be.
Right.
Like,
we kind of really didn't talk about that character at all. We kind of a little bit talked about...
I guess to be fair, that's a tough one. Scarlet Witch too, but like she hasn't really been in the X-Men movies. Like Quicksilver actually has been, so that's a tough one because we want to talk about X-Men separately someday. So it's like, which Quicksilver do we talk about?
Right. Yeah, because she's only been in... Scarlet Witch only been in one of them, right? That's right.
Yeah, so...
Well, she's only been in these ones. And they're not X-Men in this one, they're called Inhumans or something like
that. Something lame because of the rights. But anyways, if you have any questions for us, you can leave them on the YouTube video if you're watching there. You could also email us at tsofpodcast@gmail.com. That stands for Science of Fiction, so it's the Science of Fiction, tsofpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter, twitter.com/thewetrats. If you happen to be listening on iTunes and not on YouTube, you can subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/thewetrats. I don't think at the top of the show we said we're the Wet Rats, but that's who we are.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Maybe we did. I know we said our names.
Yeah.
I don't know if we said it. I don't know if we said.
You know what it is.
Yeah. I think that's all. Oh, next week. Or no, sorry, in 2 weeks. Our next
guys,
show.
You're not going to believe this, guys. We actually figured out beforehand.
Yeah, yeah. If you've been listening to our other episodes, we usually scramble at the ends. But you know what?
This is not a live.
We actually sat down and talked about it. Next time we're going to be talking about Pixar
universe.
Now, that's an interesting one because you could argue like, well, those are different movies, but technically, canonically, they are connected.
Yeah. Are we going to be talking about the theory of them being connected? Maybe. Maybe we will. I don't know.
I do, and the answer is probably yes.
Tune in to find out.
But so if you have any questions about the Pixar universe, obviously email us if you have any stuff to say about this episode. But if you have any interesting ideas or weird questions about any Pixar movie, anything that is a Pixar film.
If it has the word Pixar on it, it doesn't have to be spelled exactly the same.
Yeah.
Just Pixar.
Even if it's like Pixar.
Yeah, Pixar.
Let us know. Yeah. Let us know if you have any weird questions about all those Pixar movies.
Even the Pixel movie. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, even Pixel. I think that's canon to Pixar. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's another movie that also would be this joke, but I don't have it. But yeah, email us, and we'll talk about it next time. And until then, we're gonna leave. Goodbye.
Bye.